These were the children Britain didn't want.
Everybody crying, screaming, children crying. It was terrible.
Fleeing from a brutal civil war in Spain, they were shipped to our shores in their thousands.
They had to evacuate these children because there was too many being killed.
Only to be cast adrift by the government. From 1936, civil war raged in Spain as General Franco's right-wing nationalists tried to gain control of the country. As the Basque region in the north was hit hard with aerial bombings, it was decided to get the children out of harm's way. The Basque government appealed to foreign nations to grant temporary asylum to the children. The British government refused, citing a policy of non-intervention. But fortunately, help did come. Carmen Kilner helps run the Basque Children of 37 Association UK.
It was the British public. They were the ones that pushed for the government to change its mind. They were the ones that wanted to extend the hand of friendship and help to these children.
Although the government eventually agreed, they did insist on certain conditions.
If the children came, not a penny of public money was to be put towards supporting them. They were purely supported by the British people.
Maria Luisa, then aged 6, had already lost one of her siblings during the bombings. So Maria's parents decided to evacuate her, and with around 4,000 other children, she found herself on board a ship bound for Southampton. Oh, his parents trying to say goodbye in the midst of all that.
Oh, it's terrible. They're all dressed in black, aren't they? That's all I remember, them all in black. At least it's trying to save them, aren't they?
Arriving in England, Maria first stayed on a temporary campsite that had been set up by volunteers in Eastleigh, just outside Southampton, before she and the other children were moved to better accommodation throughout the country.
I remember that very well, yes. You don't forget that, do you? We went in the tents all that long. Maybe a week or so.
They were moved in groups as the Basque government didn't want the children to lose their national identity, but it was a struggle for them due to the language barrier.
We couldn't go to school because we couldn't speak English. We had to ask for food in English. They would tell us what it was called, and when we repeated it properly, they would give it to us.
Now 91, Paco Robles was nearly 11 when he arrived with his 8-year-old sister.
Well, we were told we were only coming for 3 months. We thought it was a holiday. I can still feel my mother's tears on me. She said goodbye.
Paco stayed at the Eastleigh campsite for 3 months before being moved to Ipswich to live in a mansion with 80 other children. But like Maria, it was the language he was having difficulty with.
The only bit of English that I learned was, I think so. People used to ask me, what's your name then? I said, I think so.
The civil war in Spain ended in 1939. General Franco now ruled the country. At this time, the majority of the refugees returned, but some remained in England for many more years.
I wrote to my mother and I said, can my sister and I go back? She said, stay where you are, because we're going through very, very bad times here.
And when Maria and Paco finally did return to their parents, they found it difficult to readjust to their old life.
They're talking to us in Spanish and we don't know what the hell they're talking about because we forgot to learn Spanish.
When they saw me again 15 years afterwards, they wanted me to stay. But I said, no, I'm married now, I'm settled in England, and I like it. This is very different to England, I said, the way things are now, and I can never live under this dictatorship.
Maria also returned to England at the age of 17, trained as a nurse, and has now retired to Scarborough. Do you think all those years ago when your parents decided to send you away, do you think they made the right decision?
Oh, definitely, because the ones who lived there, they were the ones who suffered. If it wasn't for the English people, I don't know what would have happened to us.
It's amazing to think that because of an upswell of public support, 4,000 Spanish children's lives would change forever. And for some of them, that change lasted a lifetime.